Astros have a great record. They're number one in American League, but you want more. You want young talent. You wanted Jake Meyers gone. Well, you got your wish, and you've got some young talent coming up. Jainer Diaz, he's coming up. Hunter Brown, like I predicted on podcast, he's going to be coming up September 1st, and we'll see who's going to be going down on going off the 40-man roster. That decision has yet to be made. And how is Diaz going to be playing? Because you're not calling this guy up just to sit on a bench. So there's a lot to discuss, and we're going to be looking at the mini series versus Rangers as well on this Locked On Astros podcast that starts now.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. Find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram, and at Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I love when they call up star rookie stud pitchers, always Stros.
I would like to say that I was the second person to kind of put on Twitter that Jake Meyers was going. Astros Future beat me to it. I was happy to just get ready for the show today, and I was like, let me go look at the transaction log to see if maybe Justin Verlander was put on IL, and we haven't seen anything. And I just saw that, hey, Jake Meyers was optioned down to AAA today. And nobody mentioned it. I'm like, well, this is cool. Let me go ahead and put it on Twitter. And that was pretty cool. But unfortunately, Jake Meyers, it just seems like as good as his potential is, his defense, as we saw last year, was pretty good. But he just couldn't put it together. But you know what you can put together? Go ahead and subscribe to us on the Locked On Astros podcast. Make us your first listen on YouTube. Just subscribe, give us a like while you're at it, and go and listen to work on your way to work, on your way home from work, wherever you do it, wherever you listen to your podcast. Just make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. I'm just excited, dude. I mean, this is
I get it. I get it.
We've been waiting for this moment. Hunter Brown is coming up. Jainer Diaz is coming up. This is the moment, guys. This is it. This is where the action happens.
Now, Jake Meyers is not just going down for his defense. He's going down for the whole package. He just has not had a good year. And I would not be shocked if we find out eventually down the road that he wasn't 100% healthy, or maybe he was playing a little reserved. Because when he came up last year and when he had that hot start, he played with reckless abandon. He hit home runs. He was running down fly balls, and he was a plus defender out there, and he did a really good job. He curtailed that a little bit. He came down from cloud nine a little bit, kind of like we've seen Jeremy Pena at the plate come down a little bit, but he never regained that. And especially after that shoulder surgery, you hate to see a player that had such high potential and high promise have to do this, but I think it's necessary. And I think it's what people have wanted for a while. And the Astros have been waiting for the right time. Apparently they've been waiting for this call-up date to expand these rosters, but the move of the day that I didn't see coming, Eric, is Jainer Diaz. Now, I've been watching and listening to how Jainer Diaz has been hitting lately. I mean, the dude has absolutely been raking. In the last 6 games, he has 3 home runs, and he's played first base pretty often. He's played mostly catcher in AAA, but I love the way he plays. I love that he's versatile as a catcher, but it does make me wonder, Eric, is this a move to give Maldi some rest on a short IL stint, 15-day? You know, he got hit in the hand the other day at the plate. I don't know if maybe because baseball does phantom injuries all the time, Eric. They do things where his foot's hurt or he's got discomfort or whatever. I'm not saying the Verlander thing, discomfort is made up, but there are phantom injuries in baseball. I think Maldonado needs rest. I think if you are going to depend on him, which you know they are, then you've got to give this guy some rest. They are overusing him. And Diaz, I really hope he comes up, and I hope he absolutely rakes. And I want every bit of success for Hunter Brown. from the conversations I've had with him this year and just watching his performance, hearing his focus in spring training to now, this kid's earned it. Patience is a good thing, especially when you got the reward of the big league club calling your name.
I will disagree with you there. I think that they'll continue playing Maldonado and Christian Vasquez there. I think that you may see, especially with Alvarez struggling a little bit, you may see him get a little bit more rest as he tries to recover from the sore hand. You may see him also. You may see Alvarez more in left field. You may see some Mancini in left field as well. And I think that you could see Diaz maybe play some first base, maybe hit some DH. But this is an interesting situation because he plays DH, he plays catcher, and he plays first base. You already have Mancini and you have Yuli Gurriel that plays first base. So you have an interesting situation. So
I just don't think, though, he's there to play first base, Eric. I mean, Yuli Gurriel has started hitting the ball. It doesn't make sense to me. And you got Mancini. Why would you do that when you've got Martin Maldonado? He has been used an exorbitant amount of lately, and Vasquez getting very little time. Of course, you and I are speculating. We don't know exactly what they're going to do. And the Astros have been prone to make moves and do things that we don't understand. So I think there are people in your camp that says, okay, he's coming up for that reason. I think there are people that might be in my camp, and there might be people who have completely other ideas. And that's what's great about our audience and those of y'all that listen is when you guys join us live, you're able to interact with us and we're able to hear your thoughts, throw those things up on the board. And so however this guy can help the club, I don't care what he does. Put him out there. Let him get a chance. But Christian Vasquez absolutely needs more at-bats, period.
So between two teams this year, Jainer Diaz is batting 306 with the 898 OPS. He has 25 home runs, 96 RBIs, 75 runs scored. This guy is just crushing it. And I believe that a lot of teams at the trade deadline, they wanted Diaz. They asked the Astros, hey, we want Jainer Diaz. And they're like, no, this is the guy that we want to hold on to even more than Corey Lee. I think the Astros see him as their future first baseman. And maybe if Yuli walks away next year and Mancini walks away, they have their future first baseman here. So I think what the Astros did here is they needed to add him to the roster before the end of the day of August 31st, just in case they needed an extra bat for the playoffs. So you don't know what's going to happen in playoffs. You don't know about the injuries. You don't know if somebody goes down. And so what if you needed somebody like a Randy Arozarena, somebody to come up and be that little spark plug, and Diaz could be that guy. So he could be coming up just to maybe spell Alvarez for maybe a few days at DH just to see what he can do. Then they can maybe just kind of move him around and see what happens from there.
Yeah, and really, I guess time is gonna tell the story. At the end of the day, it's gonna be how they roll this thing out. You wonder. You saw Aledmys Diaz this weekend actually taking some fielding and started running and all that stuff. And we still haven't heard about Justin Verlander. I mean, the latest is calf discomfort and to undergo MRI. And I've been looking for information. People are asking us, what's the update on him? The update is there is no update. So I don't know if I don't know if that's like a time thing. You have to wait for stuff to come back, but MRI is pretty conclusive. It comes back. And why wouldn't you want to know or tell people what's going on with him if you know something?
I don't think we'll know anything until Dusty Baker says something at the press conference or the manager meeting before tomorrow's game. That's
okay.
How the Astros
That makes sense. Yeah, you know what? That's actually a great read. I don't even know why I didn't think about that. But you would think if they say, "Hey, he's getting an MRI today," you would hear something. But you're right. That is how the Astros operate. They keep everything close to the vest. But I'm wondering when Aledmys Diaz's return is going to be and how key that's going to be. You know, here's the thing, Eric. The Astros are going to have some tough decisions to make when it comes to the playoffs. They've got very serviceable guys at every position, and especially, you know, they have an issue that not a lot of businesses have. Like a lot of times in business, you do have an issue with not finding the right people, because sometimes you don't have the right place to put your job. Well, let me tell you, as you gear up for the fall, you need the right people on your team to help your small business fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes at LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond, the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. So, this is what I need you to do. You need to go to LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Playoffs are coming up, and if you're not one of those lucky people that get to buy the tickets straight from the Astros, you're going to have to go through the second market. And what's a good broker to go through?
So Simple Seats is a place where Houston sports fans go to buy tickets at the lowest possible prices. Other ticketing sites will surprise you at checkout by tacking on fees of 20% or more. Simple Seats doesn't charge any fees at all, which saves fans money. At Simple Seats, we want fans to be able to go to more games without breaking the bank. I've used Simple Seats. Eric has used Simple Seats, and our experience has been the same. It's amazing. It's fast. It's easy. It's a one page. You pick your seat, you go to checkout, you're done. And for our listeners, if you use our promo code locked on 10, you'll get $10 off on your first purchase of $50 or more. And it's not just Astros tickets, it's Texans, it's Dynamo, it's Texas A&M, University of Texas, University of Houston, and more teams on the way. They have zone seating specials, and I was looking at the zone seating specials this weekend, and oh my goodness, they were amazing. It was like saving $10, $15, $20 just by not being able to pick the specific seat, but you know what section you're in. They do the picking for you. You go, you buy your tickets, and you go sit there. It's amazing. So thank you so much if you've gone to Simple Seats, because we know that you've been using our promo code. The word on the streets is Simple Seats is the best place to go. It is a simple place, a simple site with better prices, no fees. It's that simple. Use the promo code locked on 10 to save $10 off today on your first purchase. Tell them H-Town Wheelhouse and Eric sent you.
All right, for those of y'all that have just joined the podcast, Jake Meyers has been optioned down to AAA. We at the beginning we did not know who the corresponding move it was, but now we know that it's going to be Jainer Diaz. He's going to be optioned down. Sorry, he's going to be called up. And then on September 1st, we're going to have Hunter Brown. He's going to come up as well. This is something that I kind of talked about on yesterday's podcast. I said it makes sense. You need him possibly on the postseason roster if you don't have faith in some of these relievers. So he could be that shot in arm you need. So definitely those are two players that the Astros felt like, hey, this is somebody we need kind of in the back burner just in case we need them. So those are two guys they had to add to the 40-man roster before August 31st ends. Now, what do you do from here? So if you're looking at the 40-man roster, there are only some names that I think that they can DFA to get them off the 40-man roster. Nico Goodrum. He's somebody that you said can play baseball. I think that was your quote yesterday or something.
He's a veteran. That's why I said that. I mean, don't try to throw me into the bus.
I know, but he's
It's
a
all
veteran
good.
guy. So, but the Astros now, they could have called him up instead. I know he just came off the IL, I believe, and so they called up David Hensley. So David Hensley can basically play the same role. Ledmiz Diaz, he's still on IL, so once he's ready, he'll be coming up. So I just don't see room for Nico Goodrum. So I think that he makes perfect sense to be DFA'd. So now the other person is very, very intriguing. Like there's some names that you would be like, okay, well, they should go ahead and do this. Josh James is on his way back, but I don't know if he's going to be back on the 2022 team. Ronel Blanco is a guy that I can see them possibly DFAing. He struggled a little bit this year. But if you look at them, I know everybody's going to be like, what about Phil Maton? I think we should go to DFA
No,
him.
yeah, we need that's complete
Will
nonsense. That's not
Smith.
even
No, they're not going
no.
to
Okay,
DFA
look,
him.
no. Will Smith will be on this roster. He just won't make the playoff roster if all else fails. You don't get a guy like that and expect to maybe get something out of him because he did get 2 saves in the World Series last year against us. Don't forget that. I think Peter Mashinsky is someone who would be eligible because they would easily pick him up on the waiver wire after 10 days. I think they would bring him
Parker.
back. I'm going to say Peter Parker Mashinsky. Good Lord. I don't know why I call him Peter. I got these names wrong. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Pete Solomon and Parker Mashinsky at the same time, but I think he would be a candidate. Oh, guess what? I mean, lately, have you been seeing what, dude, chasing a rabbit here? You've been seeing what Forrest Whitley's been doing lately?
I told you.
Wow. I mean, dude, I don't know. Like, he's not going to get called up this year, but man, I really hope he turns it on and puts on the afterburners and makes his way up. But I think someone like a Mashinsky, I think someone like a Goodrum, you've got other guys. I mean, honestly, okay, Castro's on the 60-day IL. If you DFA him, does that open up a spot or is there a spot already open because he's on
No,
the 60-day
he's
IL?
on 60-day IL. So there's already a
Okay.
spot open.
Okay. So DFAing him would basically be like doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but then he's gone. Okay.
Right.
All right. So that's how that works. And see, there are still things that I don't fully understand, and that's okay. I don't ever profess to know every single thing out there. And some of y'all do. That's great. That's just not me. But at the end of the day, Eric, I think there are a couple of solid options, and they're going to make the right moves for this team. And I want these guys to succeed. There's actually some people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Hunter Brown's going to come up and mess up." And my thing was, I just didn't know if the Astros were going to use Hunter Brown as anything other than a starter. I'm wondering, is there news about Justin Verlander going to come out where he's going to miss a start or two, and then Hunter Brown slots into that place? If not, he knows how to piggyback. I've seen him piggyback, and he is an amazing piggyback pitcher, and that's why they brought him in the other night. And someone made note of it that when he came in, I believe it was Chandler Rome. He came in where it wasn't a clean inning. There were guys on base, and it was an uncomfortable situation for him. And he did admirable. He basically threw no-hit innings.
I think the Astros did that as planned. They scratched him from starting that game. They had somebody else start the game. Then they had him come in a situation that he could come in a big league. So I don't think he's going to be like a Ryan Presley type reliever where he pitches 1 inning. I think you're going to see him as maybe a piggyback guy or maybe somebody who can go multiple innings. So I think that's what you're going to see from Hunter Brown, at least initially. We'll see how he bounces back and how long he recovers in between appearances. He could turn into that guy that can go multiple days, back-to-back days. But at the same time, I don't think the Astros are going to really risk injuring their number one prospect, because he is their number one prospect and 71st best prospect in baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. So they're going to be very careful with him. They're going to make sure that they use him in the right situations, and they don't want to injure him because he is part of their plans for next year and the future. So they definitely want to be careful. So he can make an instant impact. He can be that piggyback guy. But like what you said, Justin Verlander, we don't know what the situation is. So if he is going to miss a start, then yes, you could have him maybe come in and get a start. You can also have Christian Javier slide back into the rotation. You have Luis Garcia stay in the rotation, because I believe that they're going to have Javier start, or I think they're still deciding who's going to start Wednesday's game.
So one thing that I saw mentioned on Twitter is if they were to bring Corey Lee up, they would have wasted one of his options. And so Jainer Diaz, he hasn't used any of those options. So you have a guy that has more options to use. And in this kind of scenario, Corey Lee's already been up. Why not give Jainer Diaz a chance? That makes sense. I didn't think about that. That seems very logical. And I might actually go with that. It would be nice for someone from the club to confirm that, like James Click or someone like that on the radio. But what?
Apparently, JJ Madajevic is coming up as well. So he's actually replacing Jake Meyers.
Really?
So
So
I'm
that
thinking that
means
means that Jordan Alvarez is possibly going on IL.
it could be Jordan Alvarez, or what about Justin
Maldonado?
Verlander? No, what about Justin
No.
Verlander?
They wouldn't. If they're going to put him on IL, they would have a pitcher come up.
It's Hunter Brown.
Well, that's September 1st. This
Okay.
is immediately coming up. So that wouldn't be like, so that's not how they do it. So Jainer Diaz is coming up. So let me see what's going on. So, actually,
So Jainer
hold
Diaz
it,
is
hold it. So Jainer Diaz and Hunter Brown will be added on Thursday when rosters expand. Okay, so
right,
let's
exactly.
clarify that. So JJ Majevic is coming up right now, and Jake Meyers is for Jake Meyers, and Jainer Diaz and
Okay.
Hunter Brown will come up on Thursday. So I take back the whole Alvarez. Alvarez is okay. Okay, take that back.
If we could take that back, if we could like pull that from, I
Yeah,
will not delete the audio, but I think, look,
that's what happens
this,
when we do a live show. I mean, you
but
get news. Yeah,
here's how exciting is this? The Astros have two studs coming up
right.
in Brown and Diaz, and we're like one of the lowest rated minor league systems, and we've got the best record in the American League. Do you guys understand like how great it is to be Houston Astros fan right now? Do you guys understand like all this hemming and hawing and all this complaining that a lot of people have been doing? It's like, what are you going to do when the well is dry? What
Yeah,
are you going to do when they're giving away 10 games for $20? Like, this is the time. This is now. And this is the apex of the Astros club. After the next 5 years or so go by, I don't know where they go from here, Eric, but you will look back and your grandkids will read books about the golden era of Astros baseball. We are in
right.
the middle of it. We are sitting at a feast of talent. And I promise you, you're going to see great things. And I know there's a lot of people that I've talked to today at work. They're like, oh, the Astros aren't going to win the World Series. Well,
Right.
maybe not. But you know what? I still think they've got a pretty darn good chance. I think there's a lot of doubt out there, but I think they've got the tools to make it happen.
Right. All right. So BC Crypto asks if Hunter Brown doesn't come until September 1st, will he be eligible for playoffs? I'll answer that in a second. And there are a lot of people asking a lot of questions. So we'll get
I
to some of those.
believe you have to be on the 40
Right.
man
I'll answer
by
that.
September 1st. Okay.
Right. I'll answer that
Okay.
in a second. But before we do that, if you can't get a ticket to playoffs, or if you can't get a ticket to that game you want to go to, why don't you go watch it at Hooters of NASA? It's a great place to go watch a game, and great place to have some great wings and be served by the world famous Hooters girls. They have TVs everywhere. Brett and I go there every day, not every day, but almost every week, and just go there one day. We're like, hey, Eric, you want to go? We're like, sure. And we just go hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. Anytime the Astros play, you'll see and hear all the action because they love the Astros just like you love their wings. I love the 3 Mile Island. I've changed my mind. I really like that. It's really hot and spicy. I really like it. Brett likes the Chipotle, the honey Chipotle buffalo with fries. What's your favorite? So whether you like dining in or ordering online or carry out or just place in delivery order. The best food in Webster can be found here. And ask GM Rosie why she hasn't worn black socks since October 26 in 2005. I have a feeling. So come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy hour specials, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. So many drink specials. Don't forget about Thursday with drink specials all day. Come hang out where the Locked On Astros boys like to hang out and watch the Astros with great grubs and brews. Ask them what their featured beers are on tap and tell them that the Locked On Astros boys sent you. And here's a little secret. They will give you a free basket of pickles if you say that. So they are conveniently located near the NASA Value Shopping Center and Bayrick Mall in Webster, Texas. Come see them for lunch, after work, for dinner to celebrate a special occasion. Whether you're doing an NFL fantasy draft, go do your draft party there. So go check out Hooters of NASA and let's go Stros.
Yeah,
Uh,
and someone mentioned on here while you were doing that. Someone said he had heard that both of Jordan's hands were hurting. That is actually correct. The hand that he had hurt or injured or was feeling the pain in was not the hand that he would hurt or was feeling the other day. So yes, he has at one point both hands have not necessarily been injured, but he's had issues with them. Now he still claims that that hasn't been the reason why his performance has been lulled to sleep a little bit. I mean, gosh, dude, when you look at Alex Bregman, oh my gosh, dude, I'm still so excited about Alex Bregman. What was cool is I saw there was a little special that Bregman did releasing some salsa or something, and Apollo was there, and they actually released part of an interview they did with him on July 2nd. And he basically on July 2nd said, I'm coming back and I'm back, and you're going to watch. I'm about to go off. And what has he done? He's gone off, and he has delivered on that. I just think that's so cool to have him there. And dude, Hunter Brown has got to be stoked. Hunter Brown has got to be so happy to be a part of this club because he has wanted it all season long. I think he wanted it at the beginning of the year, if I'm real honest. He knew the work he had to put in. He didn't just put in the work, he overworked and outworked the competition. So congratulations to him. And it's fried pickles, not just pickles.
oh, did I say pickles? Okay.
Yeah, you said a basket of pickles.
Back pickles. All right. Anyway, so going back to the question, yes, they do need to be added to the 40-man roster prior to the August 31st deadline. And so the transactions to get them on the roster needs to be done. The 40-man roster needs to be done tomorrow. So look for those transactions to be done tomorrow at some point. That means somebody like who do we say was going to be option? Somebody like Nico or DFA Nico Goodrum, maybe a Ronel Blanco, maybe you said
Parker
Parker
Mashinsky.
Maszynski, or somebody like that could possibly be DFA'd, somebody like that. So look for those moves to be made on the 31st, and then on the 1st, they will be added to the active 28-man roster. So those will be your two additional players added, and as rosters expand, it's not like in the past where you have the full 40-man roster able to come up. And I don't miss those days where you have like millions of pitching changes. So I'm glad we don't see that. But I think Hunter Brown, after what he's done this year in AAA, I believe the other day he pitched 3 innings, 3 1/3 innings out of the bullpen. So in AAA this year, he's 9-4 with the 3.55 ERA. He has 134 strikeouts and 106 innings pitched. His WHIP is 1.085. His strikeouts per 9 inning is 11.4. So he's just doing pretty good. The only thing that you could probably kind of scratch your head about is the 45 walks, but that's the only thing that kind of kept him down so long. What's up?
Wait, did you say pretty good? Eric, he's like striking out a ton of batters.
I know.
But
11.9, 11.4 in the AAA is pretty good. But what is he going to do in the major leagues? I'm being facetious here, but
oh man. See, Eric, we're trying to be excited. We're trying to pump this kid up. And you're like, well, let's see what he does in the major leagues. Come on. This is Hunter.
It may be
9.9
strikeouts.
Oh,
it may be 9.9 per 9
this
innings.
This guy over here, this guy, always positive, always Stros, always positive, always. Well, let's put a little levity in the conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, so, it's like, you know what, son? I'm glad you made the All-Star team, but you were the last pick in the All-Star team. I'm joking. I've met dads like that. They'll never give their kid a compliment thinking they're like puffing them up. But hey, I get it. You do have to look. I'm going to temper expectation as this is I know the kind of worker that Hunter Brown is. I know the kind of person he is, and I expect nothing but results that may not be immaculate every time, but you're going to see if he goes out there and missteps that he's going to make corrections, and he's going to be a student. He's going to be a student of the game of pitching, and I think you're going to see great things about it. I would love for Diaz to get in their first game and just hit a home run his first at bat. That would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see what type of situation he's in, and we'll see if you called it about him, about Alvarez kind of getting the week off. I know the Rangers series is only 2 games, then you have another off day, and then you have the Angels series. So the Astros have a way to kind of make up some games. So we'll see what happens there. But speaking of the Rangers series, it's going to be game 1. It's going to be Framber Valdez, who's 13-4 with a 2.65 ERA, versus Dane Dunning, who's 3-6 with a 4.19 ERA. So this is going to be a interesting matchup. I see the Astros winning. I don't see why the Astros should lose this game. Framber Valdez is on a 21 game game streak. So,
and it is, if he gets a 22, it will be a record by a left-handed pitcher. It will be the
okay.
most in Major League Baseball history. I heard them talking about that on the broadcast the other day. Oh, and hey, get this. Our friend Clay Hensley, who's now on AT&T Sportsnet, do you realize that we've never met in person until this weekend? I got to see him before the game. I gave him a big hug. I was like, dude, we've never actually met in person. He gave me a big high five, and it was awesome seeing him. You guys need to support the AT&T Sportsnet. Kevin Eschenfelder, I talked to him for a few minutes. They got a great crew. They do a great job. And so it was really cool to see Clay doing his thing right there live in person.
Yeah, then game 2, it's going to be, let me get back to it. It's going to be a day game. It's going to be TBD versus Martin Perez. So let's just go ahead and call that a loss because Perez just dominates the Astros.
Come on, man, dude. Let's
Just being
crush
negative
them. I
Nancy
know.
today.
Yeah, you are. Let's just crush them, man. Let's surprise them with Hunter Brown starting and shut the freaking Rangers down.
No, it's going to be Christian, but Javier. I'm guessing it's going to be
I know.
Javier.
Well, yeah, and no, y'all weren't right about Javier going to the bullpen. And someone said like he was giving Dusty the middle finger. That's why he blew the start that he had, because he was so mad about not being a starter. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. Basically at the end of the day, these guys are going to move around where the Astros need them. They are the ultimate team players. They are the ultimate company men. And it's because they trust the process. They trust Dusty. And we do need to get Clay back on soon, because Clay has played for Dusty Baker. And he's talked to us about Dusty Baker and how he works in the clubhouse. And as much as we may disagree with lineups or different moves he makes, he definitely has that clubhouse. And they love that guy. And until he's not there, they're gonna get behind whoever is there. But did you see Joe Espada helping David Hensley the other day? There was some footage that went around on Twitter. Maybe it was Berman or Chandler Rome. I can't remember who filmed it, and they put it out there. Maybe it was McTaggart, but it was Joe Espada coaching David Hensley since he was playing shortstop. And someone goes, "That's my future manager." And they were like, "That's what I love, is he's honestly young enough to be able to go out there and do that stuff." Dusty's at the age where he's not going to do that. But Espada having that energy and having that life, Eric, having him show up and be the manager in 2023, I really hope that's what we end up seeing.
Yeah, and somebody just reminded me in the chat that the Astros actually beat Perez last time. They actually gave up. He actually gave up 7 runs and 5 innings to the Astros. So miracles can happen. So there you go. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Astros can easily take both games in this series, and I think that's what's going to happen. What's up?
On the 29th of August, it is Roy Oswalt's birthday. So happy birthday to the wizard, Roy Oswalt. I caught his 7th batting practice home run in the NLCS Game 5. There you go. When we gave up the notorious home run to Albert Pujols, and then who won the game? The guy caught the ball from Roy Oswalt in the Crawford boxes. I said, this baseball is an omen. He's going to send us to the World Series. What did he do that year? He sent us to the World Series. So happy birthday, Roy Oswalt. Thank you for watching Locked On Astros.
So for those of y'all just joining, the Astros are calling up their number 1 prospect, their number 3 prospect, not tomorrow, not Wednesday, but they'll be calling him up on Thursday to join as the rosters expand, and that's going to be exciting. We'll see how much they actually play. Diaz is with his bat. He's definitely going to play, and then we'll see how they use Hunter Brown. Are they going to use him as a one-inning reliever? Are they going to use him as a piggyback? So we'll see what happens in that situation. But Jake Meyers is going down to AAA. JJ Madajevic is coming up. So I think this was something that had to be done. So we'll see how it all plays out. But on a World Series contending team, you couldn't keep on running Jake Meyers out there. I mean, we saw Dubon going out there a lot more. And then we have David Hensley, who can go play center field. You also have Chas McCormick, who can go out there and play. So I think that's what Dusty Baker and the Astros decided to do. So anything else?
No, I just think that at the end of the day, we're going to see how things play out. Johnny Munoz mentions that Dusty said he doesn't like Diaz's scoop rate. Thought that's kind of funny. But, hey, Dusty's going to Dusty, right? I love where the Astros are at right now. I know they lost 2 out of 3 out of the Orioles. That didn't bother me, Eric, at all. That just, for whatever reason, they brought their best. They played the best, and they brought their best. And that's the first time since 2017 2 pitchers have pitched that long, back-to-back games for them. So blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while. The Astros will be atop of the ALCS and in the ALCS and competing for the World Series and be back. And I really think, I don't know, dude, the Dodgers, they can't lose right now. And I would not mind playing the Dodgers, and I would not mind the Dodgers having home field advantage, if I'm being really honest.
They lost
How would
another
you
starter.
like?
Tony
Okay.
Gonsolin went down today.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe that changes my prediction, but let me at least finish my thought before you totally wreck the narrative. Well, anyways, so what I want to see is I still think the Mets and the Astros end up in the World Series, but I want to see us play the Dodgers, and I want us to beat them in LA again. Just freaking own that franchise. And then Johnny Munoz is going to go to LA with me, and we're going to spray paint Minute Maid Park 2.0 on the Dodger Stadium sign. Boom. Bookmark it. I'm there. Johnny Munoz, come with me.
My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett H. Willis. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, and that's all we got for this show. Welcome to Houston, Hunter Brown, and Jainer Diaz. We'll see you on Thursday. JJ Madajevic, welcome back, and go Astros, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Ice cream's better in a